Congratulations on taking your first steps to learning Excel. Today we will begin with Excel basics, learning all of the different functions. To begin, we will learn how to open Excel. I am currently working with Windows 10. You may have a different software, but the procedure is pretty much the same. You want to go down to the Start menu and click on the Start menu, like so. My Excel is listed here. You may have to actually look yours up. You can do that by going to the search bar, typing in Excel, and then it will come up. Click on it once it comes up. Once your Excel opens in the window, then you're going to click on a blank notebook. Sometimes you may use templates, but for this tutorial, we're just going to use a blank workbook. Once you get into Excel, the letters going across represent the different columns. So this will be column A, column B, column C, etc. The columns go on and on and on and on. They go to double, triple letters if needed. Same thing with the rows. The rows go across, starting with row 1, and then go down for as far as you need them. The sheet, as you see down here, this little tab is for the different sheets. Most of the time you'll just be working with one sheet, but I do want to make you aware that there is an option that to add a new sheet where you'll have multiple sheets. You ask, what does that mean? Well, a sheet, just think about it like a piece of paper. So on this worksheet, you might want to calculate one thing, and then you might want to calculate something different on the sheet. The sheets can be linked, but that's more advanced, and we will get to that in another video. Across the top toolbar, you'll see File. You may be familiar with that, but when you click on File, that gets you some more options as to making a new workbook to work with, a new Excel sheet. Open would open up a project that you're currently working on. Save, like said, it saves your current project. Save as, what that does when we use that, you can save your project as a copy. So say you opened up a file that you got from work that says John's students or CPR students January, and you want to modify that without actually changing the original file, you would use save as to save that file as a new file, and you can give it a new name. Print, exactly what it does. If you click on print, then it's going to print the worksheet, and there's different options when it comes to print. We can get into those a little later. You can play with them on your own. That could be a separate video. Share. I don't really use share very much. If I have something that I want to share with someone, say if I did a worksheet that I want to be able to share with somebody, most likely I would download the file, or either I'll save it in the cloud and then give them access to the link in the cloud. To me, I have found that to be the easiest. Export, same thing where you can take it and create a PDF, but again, I found it to be easier to use save. And then when I go and save, I save as, when I go into save and I click the place I want to save it, there's a little drop down. Again, we can do another video on these various functions. Close, exactly what it says, it closes the worksheet. So again, back to the different one. This is a column and these are rows. These little squares that you see in the middle, each one of these are called cells. To be more specific, this cell that is highlighted will be cell A1, because you're going to say the column first and then the row. So if I click over here, this would be F8. So if I was to click, say here, for example, what would this be? If you said the answer is M9, then you're correct. This is cell M9. This is important when you're writing formulas so you know which cells contain what data that you might want to calculate or do some type of function with. The home button gives you a whole array of options. And again, in another video, we can go over just what the home functions do. Insert, again, all of these, you'll just use those for different things that you can do on your worksheet. You can make pivot tables, you can insert pictures, you can insert shapes, you can make charts, line graphs, you can add hyperlinks. Um, if you hover over each thing, it explains to you more. It explains to you more in detail what each function does. Page layout, you can add themes, you can change colors and fonts and add different effects. If you're printing, that's mainly where margins will come in when you're pretty much printing the document. That's normally in, with Excel, you don't have to mess with margins too much. Orientation, again, that's more when you're printing it. It doesn't really matter as much when you're in Excel. Again, all of these things mostly for when you're printing. Formulas, that's more advanced, but you can do different formulas. You can add up numbers in different cells. You could do logic formulas. You can tell it to only count cells that have certain data in it. The data key, same thing. You can get data from other sources. You can connect sources. You could filter the data that you put into the different columns. You can also use text. These again are more advanced features. Review, I don't use this tab much, but as you can see, there's a few things that you can hover over and hover over and look at. Protect worksheet, that protects it so no one else can go in and change your worksheet. Again, more advanced. And view, there's different ways to view it. So say if I have a document here and I want to see what it's going to look like, or maybe want to see it bigger, or how the pages break. Right now when I click on page break, you see it's gray because I have no data in any of the cells. If I was to put something in there and then view it, you'll see that the only thing that's going to print on the page is that one little word. I normally keep it at normal. Freeze, like I said, all of these things we can go over at a later time. I also wanted to point out, and I apologize for going back and forth, but the cell numbers, if you're not sure what the cell numbers are, you also can see them here. Whatever you type in a cell, I say type the word type, you'll see it up here. You can edit what you type in a cell from this point. So that is basically the beginnings of Microsoft Excel. In our next video, we'll go in and teach you a little bit more about putting in data, formatting the data as far as copying it to different cells or making it bold. If there's anything that you want me to show in a future video, just type in the comments below and I'll get my best to get the video up. Thank you for joining me.